So today we get a chance to talk about television and what's going on. There has been a huge change or shift in what representation means on television now today. And I'm kind of excited of a lot of the shows that have come out, although I'm still a little bit disappointed with some of the other shows that are messing with my comic books. But I think we would love to express how representation is seen right now, especially with different television markets and everything. So maybe we could start with Netflix and discuss some of the shows that they have on there that actually represents some form of diversity.
I'd like to start with the hero we all needed in the middle of all of the court cases and all of the drama. Luke Cage, a black man immune to gunfire. It was the only thing I needed. Like, that was the news for me. For like 2 weeks, that was the news. I would just turn it on and be like, that's right. Ping, 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 run through that hall again.
I think what I was in love with mostly with that show is the fact that they actually, well, yeah, that too. But they also ended it with beautiful R&B soul music. Every single time they ended the show, you left it on a good note. You know, you had that relaxing, jazz singer or whoever singing in the background. Or they brought back people who you hadn't seen that were in the music scene like a long time ago. So I really did appreciate that. But the fact that they made this show about a man who was bulletproof in the hood.
The news.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you so much. And I loved how he was about protecting the city. It wasn't about glory. It wasn't about fame, because he did it in a hood. Why a black person was walking down the street in a hood? They haven't learned their lesson yet. I don't know.
Bulletproof? That's all you need. That's all you need. Like, what do you need? What other offer do you need?
I don't understand. It's like they haven't learned their lesson. Trayvon, it's just, just saying.
But they also flipped it. And like, shot up hoodies became like the thing for a bit. I mean, that's a terrible message to bring into real life, but within that context, yes.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, maybe
that
a
was
little
like
bit
the
in
new
real life,
fashion thing, to wear a hoodie, to be a black man wearing a hoodie, walking down the street.
What else? I mean, but that was a solid year and a half ago now. What about, like, right now? I know they jumped into the neurodiversity bus and followed Sesame Street with, they have, I think theirs is Atypical, which is their autism show.
Okay.
Like, everybody has one now. Like, Sesame Street came out and they were just like, this is our character with autism. And then everybody was like, shows for days! Like, there's The Good Doctor, Atypical, like, they're all coming out. And I have to watch Atypical again, but I liked it the first time I watched it. Like, I have a couple cousins that are on varying points in the spectrum, and like, it was a moment, like, to me it was a moment much like the first time I saw like a Black Panther comic for them, where they were just like, oh snap, I'm in a TV show. And I was just like, whoa, pull it back, guy. Okay, you're still in real life, but there's somebody like you in a TV show. High fives, and there we go.
But don't they have, there's one show that, I forgot the name of it. Yeah, Transparent.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And didn't it get like almost every single
all
award?
of them, just every award ever.
But I think the moment
Just took
that
it
was
and put it in their pocket.
the moment that was most important though was when, while he was accepting his award, he just said, "I hope I'm the last cisgendered man to ever win an award for playing a trans
Amen.
character."
Yeah.
Like, that was the moment.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. That's amazing.
But yeah, so I mean, Hulu has the Carmichael Show, which is garbage.
What is that one?
It is literally like black family drama. It's like Blackish Light got beaten in an alley and then put on TV. But
Can we talk about Blackish?
Yeah, we can talk about Blackish.
Okay.
Like, we can talk about Blackish.
Can we talk about Blackish?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that one episode where he was talking about the politicalness, right? And when he got heated about being a black man in today's society. And oh God, I can't even think about it right now because oh man. So you watch this show and they're always joking around, right? Because it's a bunch of guys hanging in a room and they do advertising. So of course they're bouncing stupid ideas off of each other to see what sells. But when he was talking about what was going on in the world, especially with the political climate and stuff like that, and like award-winning acting, it's just, and he got so upset with his boss because his boss was talking about the vote and not voting and why it wasn't important to vote and all that other stuff. And you know, how he brought up him growing up and what he had to go through and the way things are now and everything. It was literally like me being transported to a place where I literally had to deal with the same exact situation. And sorry, my voice is like shaking. It's like, it was honestly the most touching moments that I've ever seen on a television show ever in my entire life. Like I have never ever felt that closeness to something or someone before, except for that episode. And I feel like every single day or week, Blackish is hitting it every single time, even though the characters are kind of corny. I'm sorry, but I love you, Tracy and Ross. I love you, but girl.
And I guess, well, and it's for the projected audience.
Yeah.
Like this is the goal, at least when I watch Blackish, what I feel the goal is to bring a black voice into a White House undeniably. It is
teach.
Well, I mean, you can't be around black people and not learn something. You'll be making chitlins in 15 minutes. Like, but like, it's been a missing element since like the Cosby Show went into syndication. Like that was that anchoring point against the anger of white people. And while I mean, Cosby be damned forever in the eternal hellfire, the good that show did to move the black agenda forward and to open the door for the Chris Rocks and the Richard Pryors to push the agenda without just being the angry black person constantly to be fought against. Like it was the Martin Luther King Malcolm X fight.
Yeah.
Like we once again had both, and right now what we have and what we've missed for so long. And with everything that's been changing so quickly is Blackish, which is the translator of Black Twitter for white people. Like, I love the show. The show is great. Black people love the show.
And I freaking love it.
Yeah. Like,
That's how I'm going to explain it from now on.
The African American community loves the show. Like when I'm working in the community, we're always talking about it. But when I go and I talk to my white friends about it, it's that moment of, well, I never thought about it that way. And it's like, what's my job to teach you? We had this conversation. You see it on a TV show. It's okay. The postpartum depression show had me openly weeping, holding the mother of my child, because we went through that, and we were just like, I can't talk to you right now.
Just even the fact that like they touched on African American women, you know, still having children in their 40s and everything too. It's just because it's a lot of people don't know, but it's something that we deal with. It's something that we worry about because we wait and we wait and we wait, and then it just gets to a point where are we going to do it? Are we not going to do it? And so, you know, you always see the stereotypical girls at like 10 or 11 having kids, or you know, having abortions, or not taking care of their kids and putting them for, you know, adoption. But there's the other side of that spectrum too. So I love that they actually brought that in and like did it as a family environment where, you know, this was a strong family unit that was trying to bring this brand new child into this world, this messed up world, you know, right now. And I appreciated them for doing that. Oh God, I love this show so much because they're touching on the episodes and they're touching on the statements that we are trying to teach people every single day. And unless you actually see it played out, you're never gonna understand. You're not, you know. And yeah, I could talk about Blackish forever.
But I think across the board we are seeing a lot more representation in a more like humanist manner.
Yeah.
I mean, Master of None that's Aziz Ansari being like, I'm a person, not just this guy! like it is Aziz Ansari being a human for going to be 3 seasons. They also won some awards. First black woman writer to win an award for an episode that she worked on. The Mindy Project back on Hulu, another Indian woman, that's about like body dysmorphia and everything. She's just like her entire character is I eat and play with vaginas, like personally and for a profession. Like it's like that, and they bring in the white racist guy, they bring in the big lesbian, the dumb white guy, like they bring in everything to examine all of these things, and it's honestly an attack on stereotypes. It's a full frontal assault on what people can be. And I know Netflix just picked up a show that is being developed by a Middle Eastern man, and that one's it's pretty much his Aziz Ansari Master of None show. I cannot pull it out of my hat right now, but it's going to be that it's suited to be that moment of just being like, hi, my name is Dave. I'm Iranian.
Wait, is that the one where he's okay? So
I want to see the show now.
Yeah, no, it's like a year away, and we've been waiting for it.
I know. I was like, I've been waiting for this forever.
Because I know that there's a movie that's out about this guy who is Middle Eastern, and he's dating an English woman, and they face a ton of different issues too. Like you see him talking with his friend, and you actually hear, they're in this cafeteria, and you hear someone that's not with them, like one of the many Caucasian people that are there, are they talking about bombs and stuff like that? And he literally was like, no, we're not talking about blowing anything up, because they heard them. And I love the fact that they actually touched on that too, because I would be that jerk that would say something like that. Like, if you want to listen in on my conversation, how about you sit right here and listen on what we're talking about, since you're so about us right now and not your own particular life. Thank you, right? Like, that's,
But overall, I'm it's not perfect, but in a very short amount of time, we've taken more steps in entertainment than I think we have in almost any other arena. We have active Nazis marching on the street, and all of entertainment's just like, we're busy paying brown people. I'm gonna go over here and just give them more money.
Can we talk about Sense8? Because that one's like a totally Sense8.
Yeah.
That's a totally different spectrum.
Okay.
They don't only talk about diversity. I mean, they don't only talk about having diverse characters with people of color and stuff like that, but they actually go into the romantic spectrum of different relationships. And sorry, I just watched this episode and it was like 6 people all at once, and I loved everything about it.
Fan yourself off a little bit.
I'll just wipe myself down.
Don't touch me with those. Don't touch the food. Don't touch the food.
It's gonna be one of those shows.
It was honestly the most sensual, awe-inspiring episodes I've ever seen. So the show features a trans woman in a relationship with a black woman, a gay Hispanic male who is hiding his sexuality because he's a film star, a German man who is a super hardcore, I am Arnold, and him and his friend actually idolize Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then there's the typical African kid that loves it is typical because they have the typical African person that idolizes a white karate or martial art. Martial art, star or something like that. So, and then there is, I think she's from Sweden, but she lives in London. And then you have the typical white cop. So, there's Iceland, yes. So you have an array of different people, and they all share the same birthday, and other things too that make them all connected. And then there's also the woman that's in Korea, and the Indian girl who is in the typical arranged marriage with someone who, which is funny because the family keeps saying that it's all for love, and she's not in love with the guy at all. But she's going through with it because everyone else is saying how, oh, we're so glad that you're finally marrying for love, and he's such a good catch and everything. But then she has her own issues with him because he or his family is completely in the opposite end of the religious spectrum, you know, compared to them. And I'm not going to give anything away, but you know, it's crazy the things that she goes through. And then to find out that two of the pairs are in love with each other, like, does that mean that that's going to happen for all of them? Like, is it always going to be that intense? Like, and they have these different cultures mashing all together, and it's just a huge rainbow of love and fantasticalness. And I love this show. I'm so glad I started watching it because I had so many people say, you should watch it. Actually, Mary said you should watch it over and over again. And I finally did, and I'm so happy with myself. I literally am very happy with myself. Sorry. Okay. I think everyone should watch this show, seriously. Do you have any? I know, like, I've probably been talking everyone's ear off.
I'm going to say this. I haven't seen it yet.
What?
I know. I'm sort of preoccupied.
You have time now.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
But
No, I'm kidding.
It's really hard to watch one-handed, though.
Yeah, it is. I really will be watching the show.
I'm going to tell you, this show you should not watch one-handed.
It's one of those things where I've been like, I was watching the Stranger Things and Flash and everything. You know,
We'll get into all of that stuff later.
It is saved on my DVR.
Okay.
It's all there. I will
Good.
be watching it. But hearing you talk about this actually really interests me even more because I'm going, oh, this sounds kind of amazing.
It's the show that I needed.
Yeah.
You know, it's that show that I think the world needed. And what kills me is that it got canceled.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So I think they're doing a season 3. I'm not sure.
They're doing a one-off to sort of tie it together.
They're gonna Firefly it.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think honestly it's because it didn't get a lot of advertisement. There wasn't really a lot of people seeing it or even saying anything about it, which kills me because it's such a good show.
Well, there was when it came out. Like, there was a lot of buzz when it came out, but
Was there? I didn't see
it felt
anything.
really flat for me. Like, I didn't enjoy the show. I made it like 3 episodes in, and I was like, nope, next show. Although, like, the Brazilian show 3%, which is coming back for season 2, it's Brazilian Hunger Games. It's great. If you want to see it. That first season, I watched it in English, then I watched it in the Brazilian Portuguese, and I was just like, I'm in, 100% in. But yeah, I think another one to bring up that's kind of important for me is Fresh Off the Boat, which is
It's a good show.
Yeah,
It's a
but
very good
it's
show.
for me.
So
It's,
Asian appropriated.
but what blows me away is where
The show is Fob. I don't know what you want from it.
where Blackish does this incredible interpretation of for Black people into the culture. Fresh Off the Boat isn't just about the Asian American experience. My child is first generation Portuguese. His mother and their family immigrated, and they all watch the show because so much of it speaks to a deeper immigrant like undercurrent, and mostly the standoff between like, we're American and we're fine, and oh my god, these fucking Americans. Like, Mom, why don't we have this thing? Because you're not them. And I still hear it like when the grandparents just came back from Portugal, and they like when we're all over there, everybody speaks in Portuguese except for me, and I'm learning. But like being immersed in that all the time and seeing how important it is to them and how important that identity is for them, especially right now where there's so much push to not just to unify, but to whitewash or assimilate, and drop what makes you special and what is important to you, instead of just embracing that we're all like incredibly different to the genetic level. I think Fresh Off the Boat might be even more important than Blackish right now. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. That's one man.
Not as good. More important.
So we have two other people here who would like to have thoughts and opinions on shows that you think are doing it right now. And then we'll go into the shows that are just falling really flat. Because there are shows that are falling very flat.
Well, you know my favorite one.
No, I don't. What is it? Why don't you
Orville.
talk about it? Oh, yeah. Well.
But they don't know your favorite.
That's what I'm
Do not assume the audience knows.
Well, they should know. Obviously, I love Orville.
Yes.
I think it is the perfect. I mean, just being a
The
huge.
second episode.
Oh my God! Yeah. But being a Star Trek nerd, I that was my growing up.
Not Star Wars?
What's a wars?
Nobody can be perfect. If you come back on over to the side. No, but
I'm already on the dark side.
I know.
Cut that part out. We don't need to admit that.
But no,
I don't see color.
With Orville, I love how it's it is a perfect blend of that Star Trek kind of meets Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
And it's got the humor and guess what? We're all different races, and we're gonna make fun of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna say this is the stereotype, and then we're gonna show. But then, while making fun of it, we're totally gonna challenge your morality, and you're gonna understand something different now.
And we're also gonna make fun of America too at the same time.
I know.
'Cause we're set in the future.
But what I like first episode, I was like, oh, it's about two divorcees. They're fighting each other. They get one, and it's getting over that kind of character development. I was like, okay, they've got a character whose entire culture, their entire race is male.
Yeah.
They've got one she is a woman. She's small, but they have incredibly huge amounts of strength.
Yeah.
Which is now causing trouble for her because she can't find a man to actually be with her.
What is that?
Because she's a strong woman.
She's a strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
And she can't find a man. I don't understand.
That never happened.
But, what I love is
I have problems relating to the character.
That second episode, the first episode, they get it like going, here's a race of all male. Oh, I just laid an egg. I'm having a baby now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, males are having
Can we
children.
talk about this episode, please?
And then it goes into the second episode, the child's born. And I'm not going to ruin it for anybody, so this is a spoiler. Sorry, but it's got to be discussed.
Spoiler alert on the Orville second episode. Spoiler alert.
So, child is born female. And we get to go through this whole process of finding out that his partner that he's been married to was actually born female and had a gender reassessment to male.
Reassignment,
sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
They didn't assess anything.
They didn't
He
assess
was
anything.
assigned.
Hi!
They were like, we are going to. Hello, you're a male.
But they've even discussed like, should we kill the child?
Yeah.
Should we let it be female? Well, no, that's not even a choice.
Can't.
Not even an option. And they even went through trial.
Yeah.
In a
They
court
had
trial.
a tribunal.
And where it even is revealed that in their what they consider some of their most holiest writings was actually written by a female.
Yeah, and they had no idea.
Still, they couldn't remove themselves from it, and this child. And before we get to that, how they'd explain all of this and kind of keep it from being way too serious, but to bring it back down to that human level, is they start showing you the video of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Mm-hmm. Island of Misfit Toys.
And
well, the fact that like you
just
had this person with a birth defect, but they did such great things for Santa Claus. So it made the main instigator wanting to have this child's sex changed say, hey, if Rudolph could help Santa, why couldn't she be a great person if we kept her as a female? The only situation with that was that the partner, who was originally a female, said no, because this child will be scoffed, this child will be made fun of. We need to make her a male so that she doesn't go through what could possibly happen. And so they were butting heads about it. And of course, the court came back and said, sorry, needs to be a male.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if our teachings were by a female, because somehow she wanted to contribute to society, living off in a cave somewhere on their planet. They had no idea that she existed for 75 years.
Yeah,
I think
75,
she
yeah.
was, she was around, and they decided to do the surgery on the on this baby anyway. And so,
But
it was something that you saw a family going through. You saw a community being involved in that. You saw outside forces that were against that, because of course the Orville was like, no, this is not okay.
Well, talk about that.
They
They use this very subject not to just discuss what it's like to be transgender, what it's like to be told that you are a male,
you don't belong in our
or you
society.
don't belong. They also want to discuss things like, if my child is born with 3 legs and I have one leg, it's one of its legs removed, that's okay for me, but if I were over here at this planet where they all have 3 legs, to them, that was mutilating my child.
Yeah. It's why I was so happy with the end of that episode.
And
I was super happy with the end of the episode.
That they changed it to
No. Because then it's not the surgery.
I'm so confused.
It's the fact that the civilization was given a chance to assess its actual doctrine and then make a choice on where it wanted to move.
Yeah.
It wasn't humans. It wasn't especially a white captain ship at the end being like, well, glad I'm Picard. Got you guys.
Yeah.
No, it was their own people making a choice. And while I do not agree with that choice, and that's the point the Orville comes to, the episode ends at an honest point that so many other shows don't.
Yeah.
Because if it isn't in the white doctrine, it can't be the ending.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that's where we're going with this, is that it was, the show ended at a point where we would go, oh my God. But at the same time, I had to go,
It's like, that's what makes sense.
and I'm like going, if it had ended any other way,
it'd just be wrong.
I was saying, if that show had ended any other way at that moment, the impact of that episode would have been nullified.
Yeah.
And
it just
the fact that it's not final, the fact that there will be another trial and it'll move forward. Look at it. It is civil rights.
Yeah.
Thurgood Marshall didn't walk in and just be like, I have a dream. Oh my God, Black people are free. We got it. We're going to move forward. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was battle after battle, moving the needle and a civilization forward.
Yeah.
That so much of other sci-fi has completely abandoned.
Yeah, and I love that they were able to bring in that same race, the one with the girl who is this little tiny petite thing, but she was able to ball up his little gavel, his square gavel, into this little tiny aluminum foil thing, and they're just looking at her like, what?
But I love it. It's like they use the excuse that, isn't this a woman can do it? And she goes, they go, yeah, but she's Katarian.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, we don't care. She's not one of us.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about that, and that was something that actually spoke, because I'm like going, honestly, sometimes I kind of look at him like going, oh, he's up there saying freedom for rights, Black Lives Matter, and sometimes I'm over here, and I'll tell you this right now, Black Lives do matter, but don't get me wrong, I'm just saying, make sure.
Kidding.
But sometimes I kind of go, it doesn't affect me because I'm Middle Eastern, not Black.
Yeah.
And so I find myself doing that sometimes, and I kind of go, oh, you can't do that. But that was a great example. It was, I love how they did it, because it was so, they didn't. It was almost nonchalant.
Yeah.
It was like we're not even gonna tell you we did it. We're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I also love the fact that there's, there are races of different color, even within the
Krill, right?
And
The
they
Krill,
have different races.
They believe that they were the superior. No, it wasn't the Krill. The robot.
The robot. That's his name.
Oh my goodness! I don't know.
Isaac. Isaac the robot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see the last
Oh
episode?
yes.
Oh my God.
Episode behind.
Shut up.
Oh
Okay.
my God,
We won't tell. We won't tell. We won't tell. But
It was
I love.
the sweetest episode ever. That's all I need to say.
I'm just saying we watched one race rationalize their own superiority complex,
And tone it down.
and at the same time learn that they weren't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But because they learned they were superior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard being on top. Hard being on top.
It was funny because they automatically kept doing that over and over again, saying how, well, we are better than you. We're better than everyone,
Yeah.
no matter what. And then you see them learning the whole time.
Yeah, no, you're just
And
like,
it's
okay.
oh.
But
Thank you, Orville, for doing that. Seriously.
And I'm like, and I love that they discuss
Their
it
cast
with
is
humor,
diverse,
and it's
too.
so diverse.
Thank you.
Yes.
Their cast is so
Doctor
diverse.
is a beautiful black woman she's a
Ooh.
single mother.
Please, talk about it. Talk about it.
Single mother
Yep.
of 2 young black children whom she was never married. She
Yep.
only did artificial insemination.
Yep.
Bam! Because she was the woman who made the choice.
And she's not like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she is a fully fledged
No,
doctor.
she's actually older.
Yeah, she's
No,
older
she's
than the captain.
older.
Yeah.
She's older than the captain, and she literally said that with her career and everything, she never was able to find the right person to settle down with, and she wanted to have children, and so she did it, and that was it. And she takes care of those two little brats as well as she possibly can, because Bebe's kids, and it always happens. But
What's the black navigator's name in the show?
oh, I hate him.
I love him.
I hate him.
I love him.
I
Did
think
you
he's
that
hilarious.
episode with the counting and the voting?
Oh no, he was
He
super,
was a
no
dick in that
no.
episode, and he didn't even learn his lesson. And
No,
that's what pissed me off.
absolutely
even more.
not.
No,
But
that guy is on my shit list right now. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry,
But
he's
we
on my
got to,
fucking
but we
shit
got to
list.
play
I
him.
fucking hate his
But
guts.
we got to play him. We got that character. We haven't gotten that character.
Okay.
Black guy either has to be like the fuck up who dies, like everything in that
Okay.
show is a challenge in some way.
Yeah.
Like he gets
But
to
they
be,
don't even look
his
at race.
character
They
is
never
the,
look at race in
His
that
character
show.
is the 17-year-old white boy who he's Bill and Ted's Excellent
Actually, he
Adventure.
is.
We got Bill and Ted. We didn't get a Bill and Ted. We didn't get to go back in time and just fuck with shit and not learn our lesson. We got one now.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to
But
be
he
the moral
did,
right.
yeah, and he didn't learn his lesson, and I don't like
it's-
that. I don't
but
like
you know
that
what,
he
though?
didn't learn his lesson.
How many
Sorry.
times did we get to sit and watch the white person do that? And not learn their lesson?
I was pissed off at the white person too.
Yeah,
that's
but we
fine.
still have to have a chance to play the character.
The character-
If he actually goes to Israel and starts humping statues, I will
He will
back
be
you.
dead.
I
He
will
will
back
be
your
dead.
play. I'll
He
be
will
like,
be
you know
dead.
what, Dick? But we
He will
got
be
one.
dead.
We finally got one, and now we're gonna keep it. And you're gonna go do real dumb shit in space.
No,
Absolutely.
it's not okay though. It is. I didn't like the fact that this person was a female that was a pioneer in their civilization, and there was no recourse for it whatsoever. Like,
Well,
it
there
just
was,
didn't-
but no.
There were no signs of regret. No.
Oh no, he had no regret.
There was no
I say-
signs of regret.
I say, for him, he had no sign. It would be like this. How am I going to say it? It would be like this. If you came to Israel,
I would
okay,
never.
and you
I would
you get
never
up
have
to
a
a
statue.
Jewish person, and you said, "Assalamu alaikum,"
I wouldn't.
and they would look at you and they would go, and they go.
Yeah, I wouldn't though.
Now why? Why? Well, I'm saying, but
Because I know they would do that.
We got
But
a
it's
low-key
about
bad
common
guy.
sense.
We got a low-key bad guy. I'm okay with it.
I'm like
doesn't
his,
even
but what I'm
care.
going with this is that in his culture, which happens to be from Earth, as you know
So is
here,
most of the rest of them were from
I know,
Earth.
as you know, being from Earth,
Oh,
he
Jesus.
can get up on that statue and hump it all he wants to, and he's not going to have recourse. And we're not going to be like, he's stupid.
And if
whatever.
you look at the reaction of the
But
rest
he
of the
is
ship, the
stupid.
reaction of the rest of the ship was only mad because he blew their cover. The first line is when Kelly turns to John and is like, what was it? It was, what about being undercover, or what about low impact do you not understand?
Yeah, but the girl that I keep forgetting her name, the strong one that was complaining about not being able to find.
You could call her the
because
Katarian.
the main reason why he did that was because she was talking about her struggles, about finding someone who was not compatible with her, but someone who wanted to date her.
She's talking about the appropriate amount of grind. That was the conversation.
I know.
About grinding.
No, it wasn't.
It had devolved to that point.
It devolved,
Yeah.
exactly, because that's what was on his mind. That was not what was on her mind.
No,
and she said, no, it's not about that. You know, it was about the fact that she couldn't find a guy who was okay with her being stronger than them.
Yeah, but how many times have you been out with a group of friends, had something serious, your friend does something to make you laugh, devolving the conversation, and it's fine? This was
It's not fine. Not when you're defacing public property.
So all public property is sacred.
Depending on where you are? Yes.
But they had no idea. And yes, while he is a complete...
It's a statue!
So all statues are... So all statues...
You would
so all... No!
statue?
So all statues...
Yes or no?
Yeah! Statue of Robert E. Lee, I grind all over that. All statues are not sacred. They had no idea what it was.
No.
While I do agree that he could have learned his lesson, it is still important that in the canon world of film, that a black guy gets to be the low-key, no-holds-barred, doesn't learn his lesson criminal. Like, white people have got to do that in everything, Bill and
And it
Ted
was not
forward.
okay then either.
And,
Yeah, but they have to do it. That is a part, like, that exists.
There's
like,
a,
and they're not, the Orville is not about being a good ship of good people.
No, it's actually being
They
a ship
do.
of bad people.
No, because they have some good people on that ship.
No. If you
Especially
get
the guy
at the
getting
beginning,
his leg
it's
cut
kind
off
of the
because
worst
it
of the
was a
worst.
joke.
Yeah.
And that's the joke of it. But something else happened in that episode that was very small, and now probably not a lot of people notice. Katarian's in the coffee shop, and a man walks up to her, goes, "Take that off."
Yeah, the hat.
Take that
the
off.
appropriation.
You are appropriating my culture.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
You are spitting on my ancestors.
Yeah.
And I went, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
That was awesome.
Because she's like, I'm just wearing it's just a hat.
Yeah. Because they didn't realize there was some actual symbolic meaning behind that hat.
But here's the thing is, it was
It's like-
never. It was never explained to her.
No, it wasn't.
It was never.
Well, yeah.
But as
She
soon
was
as she knew and understood, she went into the bathroom and they made sure
And she's
they
like,
tried
I'm just
to
going
make,
to take it off.
Yeah, they
But
tried
here's
to
my.
make sure.
But
that
that's where I was going to go.
the
It was
situation was
even though
fixed.
she did not understand.
Yeah.
Now, the way that man approached her, I believe, was wrong. I don't. But I do believe that
It's something that happens in
something
today's
that happens
world.
in this world.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I do believe that you were wearing something that I'm like was inappropriate and was offensive to me, I could say, you know, you wearing that is really offensive to my culture. You know that.
Yeah.
Because most people say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as I said, I don't agree with how he approached her, but I do really love the fact that she was, even though she didn't understand, I'm going to take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, we're painting her in this really good light right now, but no, it was still about the mission. It wasn't like, it was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to the ship.
Yeah.
They went to the bathroom to do the whole takeoff thing because they were trying to avoid this blowing out of proportion. This wasn't a, I understand the moment in life. This was,
No,
I'm trying.
she did.
She did not want to reveal herself as an alien.
That's
I know.
true.
And she wanted
That's
to
why she
avoid-
didn't do it right then and there.
And
But
she wanted
did
to-
understood that she needed to take it off. And that's why they went into the bathroom and was like, let me
to not blow the mission.
Oh.
Like this was, they were, especially in a world where they're being downvoted all the time, like this was another public, moment they had to avoid. Like it could have been a conversation, they could have talked back, which they started to, and then they were like, wait a second, they saw the phones coming out and they pulled her out.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing. Like the Orville is not a ship of heroes.
Yeah.
The Orville
Yes,
is a
it
shit of shitbags
No one
that do slightly heroic things on accident.
No.
Yes, that is the point.
I mean, you know what? You can have your opinion. You will have your opinion no matter what. But I see there are some people on that ship that are not shitbags, and they do everything that they can, like the Katarian.
It's season 1. Give it a second.
No.
It is season 1.
I
They're
have faith.
assassinating characters left and right.
I do have to agree with Dom though. I don't believe that the characters are supposed to be good. I don't believe they are. I believe that it's supposed to be a ship full of the worst of the worst.
Not even that. It's just people.
Really,
It's a ship of people.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing: nobody is forging their way out of every situation. Nobody is Picarding in this giant speech of righteousness and
Except for the
good.
doctor.
Nobody is the annoying 17-year-old child that happens just to know everything.
Yeah.
Except for the pilot. The pilot
Sort of.
is definitely this annoying
But he doesn't seem to know
17-year-old
everything.
child.
That's the thing.
No, and he's
I mean,
also
he knows his way to
he's like-
maneuver
he's
out of
dumber than a box of
situations,
rocks,
but
man.
that's
And he's
that's-
also a dick.
That's the reason why they got him, is because he's a good pilot. You know, on
And
top
nobody
of-
else wanted him because he was a shitbag.
Yeah.
Like the show starts
Yeah.
with, I'm a shitbag, this is my shitbag friend, and this is a ship that we're on.
Yeah.
The musical.
Yeah, but I do have faith in the Doctor because she's amazing, and what she brings to the show is
She's very
this-
condescending
This
and
this
high and
type
mighty.
of.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Where do you see that?
From the very first episode.
When the slime thing was trying to hit on her?
No. Just like her interactions with most people is just like, you're an idiot kid.
Yeah.
Like, why are you
haven't
on this
seen
ship?
that.
You could be on a battle cruiser because you need somebody with experience.
Yeah. That's
Like, that was
Why are you here?
the captain.
When very first time meeting her, why are you here? From the looks
Well,
of
yeah.
from the looks of everybody here, you need me. I'm just like,
That's the truth, though. I would say the same
That's
thing.
so
It doesn't mean I'm trying to
condescending,
be
though.
condescending.
that is very condescending. She basically,
not.
and then she basically called everybody in that room an
You
idiot.
can't talk about my Jesus.
Because a black woman toting that she is in this position of power.
Oh,
is
no.
considered condescending.
Okay.
Got it. No, that's cool. So moving on.
No, it's not true.
Wow.
Okay.
saying.
Wow.
Just saying.
You did not make that statement
We're
without the
high
chance
five.
of saying it
We're
back.
high
Because
five.
it had nothing to do with the fact that she was black, because if a white person had said that, they would still be condescending. Dude, a Mexican
Bones
person
are-
had said it. Anybody said that what she did, it was
Thing
condescending.
is,
Period.
she's
not
black. She's
condescending,
black
sorry.
female Bones, like from original series. Yeah. And he's condescending as fuck.
Yeah.
His entire character is, damn it, Jim, I'm a blah, not a blah.
He's dead, Jim.
Yeah, he's telling the man that he can't do the job. Like, you can't put an engineer doing a medical.
And remember
thing,
how
just
Bones
don't.
was racist?
Oh no, the
Oh
whole
God.
show is racist.
Yeah, he hated Volcos. No.
Also, I'm a fan of Discovery. I'm like 2 episodes behind right now, but I really like Discovery. I like that not the Vulcans, not the Romulans, not the Klingons are actually a alien species, not just space Negroes. I'm so happy that they're an alien species and not just black people in space. How are we going to tell them apart from everybody else? Ruffle their foreheads, it'll be fine.
I will say this one. At first, I was like, about it. I like it.
I like it.
I like it. I like it.
I know there's
Damn
a
it.
huge difference between the darkness of Discovery and the lightheartedness of Orville.
Oh, it's
but I
it's
like
the point.
what they're doing with Discovery because it's not your typical Star Trek show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why people are so upset. I mean, hold on, no. I do understand why people are so upset with it because it is a darker version of Star Trek, but I think that if you were in the mindset of what Star Trek was back in, when Star Trek first started, you would think that that was a dark show, going and visiting different species and interacting with them, and the captain having sex with every single alien that there is out there. Mind you, the captain on the show had sex with his commander, I think, or his captain too. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but I like the direction that they're taking. I like that the captain is realizing that he's in some sort of danger and he's not going after the person who is supposedly his friend to go and help save them. And I think that if they did, it would be unsuccessful because I'm not exactly sure what I saw in the last episode. Not trying to give spoilers, but I think she's gone, maybe? Has anyone seen the last episode?
I'm
Okay.
2 episodes behind. Here, hold on a second. Go for
I
it.
know exactly what you're I'm like, but he has.
Oh,
I'm like,
so I
don't-
think she's dead.
I am assuming so.
Okay, because she's
But-
in the burial area, right? Okay. So yeah,
we're not giving spoilers.
I
but yes.
was I was very it's kind of like a mild version of Game of Thrones. And they're killing people.
Well,
they're saving people. They're showing relationships forming between the main character and and both of the people. The other person that they're introducing is also another POC, which I'm really excited about that they're showing.
The only problem I'm having with Discovery, if it's
Is that
while it
highlighted
is
too?
darker, it's very what's the word? Formulaic. If you, for example,
Formulaic.
formulaic. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very formulaic. It is. We go. How did Kirk become commander of the ship? Oh, everybody died. How did And it's like you just get and I'm like, oh, it's basically like I'm watching a remake where they pick and chose certain story parts from the original and the next gen, and just kind of, and they just say we're going to make it a little bit more gory, and we're going to or more like intense, but it's
Put
the
a
same
black
story.
person in the lead.
For me, this is the sausage getting made.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the series, keeping
Series?
it. Siri, keeping it. Really are. Look, everybody, stuff, space. And this is like, all right. So we got to stuff in space because we murdered our way there. The musical, it's really refreshing to me because even when you have like giant Borg invasion or like Klingon skirmishes back in the day, it was always like, woo, we got that out of the way, and you never see like the 3 scientists in the background electrocuting the thing and being like, all right, we found a way to make it work, Jim. Like you never see that. Like war is absolutely vile.
Yeah.
And it is so placated in the Federation. What's been really good is in the last like 10 years, how many like papers have shown up just being like, yo, the Federation is super fascist.
Yeah.
The musical. They solved
It's always a musical.
they solved scarcity with the replicator, and then everything became the military.
Yeah.
And you have you look at Star Wars and you're like, look at these smuggler ships and look at these other ships and people just going to planets, and you go to you take a peek over at Star Wars or Star Trek, and you're like, what are all these ships doing with insignia on them? Oh, they all belong to the military of space. Like, we're an exploration ship that has photon torpedoes and giant phaser cannons.
And shields.
And we are the flagship of the military. That's like Christopher Columbus showing up and just being like, I love the smell of new worlds in the morning. Like, that's not a science vessel. And even now that we've seen a science vessels are even darker. Like, science vessels are just like, all of those people died. Well, go get their science so that they don't get our science where we were killing people.
Yeah.
It is a fascist world. It's almost at the level of humans fighting bugs, Starship Troopers. You're almost at the level of Starship Troopers, where it's like, all right, you're in the military, now you're important to have a movie.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's still billions of people like on each planet just fucking off. They're not doing anything that's particularly militaristic. Like,
just like Starship Troopers. Oh,
Just like all
and
the
you
people
saw what happened to them.
Just like all the people back in Spain when Christopher Columbus showed up. It is a world built on sending military ships into the world.
all right.
It is fascism at its best.
Yeah.
Thank you, replicators.
I know it even makes it even worse is the fact that they will not share that technology
With anybody else. Yep.
So they can control the development of
The world.
But Prime Directive, we're
final
not going to get
frontier.
involved. We're just going to let them slowly die off.
Yeah.
And then we'll take over their land.
I'm fine with the Prime Directive.
Just like we
it's
did
other
with-
people in space just being like, oh, you have ships too? Here's a replicator. Be friends.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've gotten here. Oh, your ships can blow up my ships. Here is food for all of your people.
Yeah.
The musical.
Everything's going to be a musical today.
All right. Just how we're going.
Somebody's gonna write this now.
I'm not a fan. If our future is the Federation future, I hope it's the Orville and not Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I hope it's-
I don't know if their federation is any better. But
I'm saying if we have to go the garbage route, but like
yeah.
I would prefer Star Wars where everybody's like flying around and like we're like, oh no, fuck this flying, and we have lots of conflicts and all sorts of stuff, and everybody's like planets are like countries versus like pretty much I feel like the most condensed version and the thing that people kind of shy away from is how much you loved the brown coats in Firefly and how every single other show is literally the other guys.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh yeah, oh Firefly, great show. Oh, that's great. Yeah, but every other show you root for the wrong team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like every other show, you're like, the guy's murdering everybody for peace. Great. Done talking about television. I think we covered everything.
No, we didn't.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, Hiromi hasn't gotten a chance to say anything too much. So
Yeah.
Go.
shows that you have seen that you think is doing it
You
right.
said his name wrong, but that's okay.
Did I? What? No, I didn't. I
You
did
said
not.
Hiromi.
Sorry.
Hiromi's fine.
Anyway, you are a hero. That's all there is to it.
Black women can do nothing.
I know.
No, you can't.
So anyways,
Thought you knew.
I don't know that I would necessarily say that it's doing it like perfectly, but I fucking love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So good. Like, and they deliberately set so many things up so that you can't just throw a stereotype in and be like, all right, cool. It's like, all right, we have two black men in charge, and they could not be more fucking different.
And none of them are Samuel L. Jackson.
Right. Got two Latina detectives. Completely different. Like, you can't even just go like, oh yeah, I like the Latina detective. No, you can't.
Yeah.
Because there's more than one.
Yeah.
You can't even say the doofy white guy. Because all the white guys are doofy. There are four of them plus anyone else that they pull in. Like, it's a show that just forces you to think past stereotypes and start making things more complex. Because it's the fucking world. The world is more complex. You can't just reduce things to one dimension.
Yep.
And the return from prison. Like
Yes.
his entire worldview on the other side of prison is just like, he's a police officer saying 5 times to the camera, we really need to do something about prison. Prison was not okay.
Wait, so he was sent to jail?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched the show.
Spoilers.
So.
Yeah.
Spoilers. He went to prison.
Oh,
But
no.
he came out.
Okay.
Also spoilers.
Thank you. It had slipped my mind. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of my favorite shows.
Is it really?
So good.